She still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Zhang Weili is furious.
She's upset. But 100%. 100%.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, but we are not doing so good, kid. Welcome everyone to a brand new edition of Axe Kick Picks, Monday, May 20th, 2024. And Joey, our Knickerbockers are out of the playoffs, kid. Right off the top, tough one. So if the energy is low, that is why, kid. How you doing today?
Hanging in there, yeah. I thought my day was gonna
go
a lot differently than how it has, but we must continue on.
Yes. Regardless, we have a great episode for you guys over the week. What a fight between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. We'll talk about that. Big win for Lerone Murphy at the Apex against the legend in Edson Barboza. We'll talk about that. And then at the end, we got some MMA news to talk about to end the show. But, Joe, we have to start in Saudi Arabia, the Ring of Fire. What a fight. I mean, it was the best boxing fight I've seen in my life. Just brilliant. I did think real time. I thought Usyk did enough. I thought he won the first 2 rounds. He came out aggressive. I thought then Tyson kind of got his rhythm. He won the next 4. And then here comes Usyk in the 7th and 8th round. And, you know, to be honest, I honestly believe the ref could have stopped it in the 9th. He was more in his right to stop it if he wanted to. I've seen refs stop it for less, if I'm being honest. So I think thought it was a great fight. And then Usyk, man, undisputed heavyweight champion in the 4-belt era. Amazing stuff, kid. What'd you think?
Yeah, I was super impressed. You know, it was back and forth. I really think I had it, you know, depending on how you look at it, one of the people who are breaking it down saw the rounds opposite than what the majority saw it in the beginning. And then I'm seeing as, like Verdict was covering it, I'm seeing that they sided with Usyk early. And I do think, Fury did hit a gear where he was taking control. That uppercut was landing pretty flush to Usyk. And I thought that he had the recipe to kind of coast into what would have been a dominant decision, But, dude, I didn't think it would have been like this. I didn't think the power from Usyk was going to be the X factor here. Once he landed that southpaw power and it landed flush, man, Fury was not the same. I think I actually, I retract that. I think it might have actually occurred a little prior to that. I think when his nose went, I think Usyk landed on Fury's nose and busted him open. He got a little mouse on his eye as well, under his right eye, prior to the knockdown entirely. I think both of those played a factor into him not necessarily seeing that, that clubbing overhand. We've seen it with Ngannou, that clubbing overhand left, though it was orthodox stance. It came from Usyk in the southpaw, and bro, it rocked his world. And credit to Fury for being one of the toughest men alive and staying on his feet. I don't think any of us thought that he was gonna survive, or
the rope saved him.
The rope saved them, but we could have seen him really like hitting the canvas and maybe not recovering as well as he did. But he's like a juggernaut with that, and but actually, it might have been that a case of him being too tough for his own good. A lot of the, experts and analysts, like Lennox Lewis, even was saying that, maybe, the last undisputed champion, 25 years since 1999, he was saying that, maybe after taking a blow like that, maybe he should have just dropped to a knee and not have to take up the following concussive shots that he did,
Yeah.
He might have been able to get his bearings back a little quicker and been able to recover, but man, shout out Ukraine, Slava Ukraine, man. Alexander Usyk is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And, he has all the belts. I'm looking at it right now,
Joe, real quick to jump in, amazing performance. And are you surprised? Because I agree with you. I felt in round maybe 2 or 3, Tyson was kind of trying to play games, playing on the ropes. And I think, yes, but I do think the power he felt early and was trying to laugh it off. But when it was the 7th, 8th round, Tyson Fury wasn't laughing anymore.
No, and normally when you are, the one showboating like that, it normally doesn't bode well. I'll be completely honest. You got to take your opponent seriously. Not that Fury wasn't, but on the flip, Usyk was taking this fight super serious. We didn't know, the backstory of what was going on between his father and his family, and thoughts and prayers with him. But, he made his father proud there. He took this fight absolutely serious. I think he thought Fury was taking him as a joke, or if it was for a lack of just trying to, put a front on, he's like, oh, he's not taking me serious. Like I said, there's definitely both of these guys are taking this fight serious. I think what went into Fury not looking as good as Ngannou's, he didn't take Ngannou serious, but he was looking past him and looking towards this Usyk fight. And, spinning it forward, he's guaranteed the rematch
in October. Yeah. He said already immediately. And are you surprised that he gave Alexander Usyk his flowers, but he said it honestly, and he doubled down on it and said, I think I won the fight. He goes, I know what the judges, but then to say, his country's at war, like that's not a good look.
I was going to say, leave the comments at bay,
Yeah.
but
I agree.
I don't know if you wanted to be inflammatory with that statement, but I mean, I'm looking here. I really do think, shout out to the people at Verdict, shout out to them, because,
did he have a claim to say he thought he won a fight? Is that fair?
I think the thing is that the knockdown really proved otherwise. If you even were going to say that the rounds were even, let's say you split the rounds right in half.
Yeah.
The knockdown was a 10-8 round. So
immediately,
when I saw that at the end of it, I was like, Fury, he was in control towards the end. Like you said, it was like the 8th round I'm seeing here as well when he got dropped. And Usyk won the follow-up rounds after that. Did he do enough? You can argue that he may have matched him on the rounds, but that knockdown round, that's a 10-8 for Usyk. And so based off that, instead of what would have been a 14-14, right? I think that would have, we've heard those scorecards before becoming draws, I think even possibly with, Fury and Wilder the first time they fought and he got knocked down and had to survive. That would have made sense. But the fact 14-13 was on 2, I think, if I'm correct, right? It was
correct.
2 of the scorecards, though it was 1 for Fury. Actually,
yeah. Which a lot of people thought he won the last round.
Yeah, and I see that here as well. He won the last round. If you just count the rounds straight up, it's 3 in the first. This is from via Verdict. 3 in the first from Usyk, and then you got 4 consecutive for Fury, and then you got 4 consecutive for Usyk, and then you got the last one going to who is Tyson Fury. So I think that evens up, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's 5-6. Usyk would have technically had 6 rounds to 5 in that regards as well. So, I mean, both the round scoring, I mean, that doesn't make sense in terms of the roundage because, like we said, we have 12 rounds, so it would have to be 6-6. I guess I'm missing one here, but nevertheless, yeah, it was a tremendous performance. It really was. I think it shocked all of us because I think a majority of it had Fury, and he was a slight favorite. It was a pick 'em as it, the line started to move. It went more in Fury's favorite. So him getting that clean connection, knocking him down, I think people who are interested and excited about the fight, they were on their feet.
I'm looking at the scorecards, and I understand the 114, 113. If you wanted to say it was Tyson Fury, I could have understood that if they gave him the fight. The scorecard I don't understand is 115 to 112. I mean, even though it was for Usyk, it's just like I just don't think he won all those rounds. I think it was closer than a lot of people anticipated. But yeah, Joe, I think
drastic.
Yeah, a little drastic, but he made history, man. He did it.
Yeah.
He's the undisputed, and time is a hell of a thing, Joe. You could be somewhere one day and then fast forward just a few years later, you could be on top of the world. Alexander Usyk is a prime example of that. 5 years ago, Tyson Fury, AJ, and Deontay Wilder were all undefeated and battling for, to be the best heavyweight, while Alexander Usyk has not even made his heavyweight debut. Now, fast forward it to May 20th, 2024. Fury is 34-1-1. AJ is 28-3, and Wilder is 43-3-1. While Usyk is undisputed king at 22 and has 3 wins, 2 against AJ and 1 against Tyson Fury.
Yo, the Olympic grit that he has, Olympic gold medalist. I think he had to go there twice to get it. The second trip he did come out victorious. So I think that pedigree, played dividends. He's been through the gutter, quite literally, and he's got brothers fighting on the front line. Like you said, the story between his father passing and he just had that grind in him. And I thought his gas tank was waning as Fury was landing the jab from range and hitting him with some shots, some strong straights, and then coming around with hooks and stuff. And he was landing. I thought Usyk was down for the count, even though he was still fighting. But you can't count a man like that out. He had his tank still. He had the footwork, and
the size didn't even look like it mattered,
no,
Joe.
No, I think he had the power advantage.
He did,
because though he was getting tagged, I think anytime he landed, Fury felt.
And he always was applying pressure going forward.
Cut him off exactly, pushing him to the damn ropes and cutting him off in the corner. That's when he was able to hit Fury the most. And Fury, trying to do the rope-a-dope, it just didn't work. And the mind games didn't work. And I know that's what I think we were trying to explain, is that though maybe it was showmanship or showboating, I think it was Fury's attempt to get in Usyk's head, and I don't think there's anything anybody could do to get into that champion's mind.
No. Gracious in defeat, though. He did give him his flowers on the way out, but he took his WBC belt. Now he's the WBA, WBC, IBO, IBF, and WBO champion. I can't wait for the rematch in the fall. A lot of people were, I think I don't want to talk for you, but I think you were even kind of on the fence, because I thought we both picked Tyson and we both had a prop for knock him out. If hypothetically, if roles were reversed and he knocked out Alexander Usyk, I don't think a lot of people would be wanting the rematch. They'd be like, let's push AJ. But and now the rematch is definitely gonna happen. What do you think here?
Yeah, it makes sense. I actually think I want to see it again.
Yeah,
I want to see what Fury, how he can change some things. Like, I think the same advantages will take place. I think Usyk will have the power advantage, as we saw in the first match. We'll play into the second. So Fury's going to have to come up with a different game plan, especially staying away from the ropes. Maybe a little strength and condition. I think he came in a little heavy as well. So maybe trying to cut down and be a little lighter. That may, be a little change, and just be able to compete with Usyk more. And, maybe the scar tissue is building up a little bit for Fury, because it seems like he gets tagged in the eyebrows. He got cut prior to having his fight delayed. And then the mouse under the eye. I mean, I can't really control that. But then, having his nose busted, the years of boxing could be adding up for him.
Yep.
So Usyk's main thing and why he's, got this longevity is that's the name of the game. Don't get touched. He hasn't been touched pretty much throughout his career. I think Fury was doing a good job of touching him, but that's why Fury seems to be fresh and ready for when they do the rematch. It's going to be on Fury to make the changes and the adjustments.
And I'll say this too. I know a lot of people, I think us as well, we were hoping for this Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, kind of maybe disrespectfully looking ahead towards that. Make no mistake about it, though, Joe. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua is still a massive fight. And I think despite the defeat to Alexander Usyk from both of them, that fight still needs to happen. Am I crazy?
Did Usyk beat Anthony Joshua twice? I'm pretty sure he did. And
he beat him twice, and he beat Tyson Fury in England.
If he goes to beat Fury a second time, then Usyk is undoubtedly, there's no argument to be made. It's non-debatable. He's the undisputed heavyweight champion, the best in the world. And the fight would still make sense for Anthony Joshua because, granted he has the 3 losses, but he lost twice to Usyk. Fury lost twice to Usyk. We can have maybe a battle of the Brits and see who's going to be the king of England, if you would.
And, I do think he's talking about just heavyweight. I think legitimately he has a claim for pound number 1, 22-0, 14 knockouts, undisputed at heavyweight, undisputed at cruiserweight. Now I still think it's Inoue, 27-0, 24 knockouts. He's undisputed at super bantamweight, undisputed at bantam.
You were going to say next, but either Inoue or Bud have an Olympic gold medal.
No, but do you add that? That's my thing. It's like when NBA is like, oh, it's like Melo, and he goes, I got an Olympic gold.
Well, he must have lost. It's considered amateur. So, though it's only a light record of 22 and others have up to 40 fights professionally, and he does have losses in the amateur ranks. At the end of the day, he was an Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? And he has a lot more on his resume than maybe some of the fighters that have, 40 plus professional fights. He may have 50, 60, if you count the amateur rank. So, I do think there's an argument for him to be, number 1 and maybe even number 2. But, let's not disrespect who's there already. Naoya Inoue is arguably pound for pound number 1. And I think the same could be said for Bud Crawford. So, you know what? Why not the 3? It could be a wonderful trifecta, 3 times a charm. That's right.
No matter which way you put it, they're the top 3.
I love it.
No matter what you pick, I think they're the top 3. Personally, I have Inoue at 1, but with this win, I did put Alexander Usyk at 2, and then I dropped Terrence Crawford.
Bud needs a big fight. That's the thing.
Yeah. And I think he'll get it maybe against Canelo. Now, my question for you, real quick, before we do it, is Usyk the greatest boxer post Floyd Mayweather era?
Wow. A lot could argue that it was Fury, and the fact that Usyk just beat him. Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made. Absolutely. Post Floyd Mayweather, Canelo kind of went off the wings of that Floyd Mayweather loss while he was very young, but then he has a loss to Bivol, who's that fight for June 1st has now been delayed. Same with Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Nobody wants to compete with UFC 302, but they're going to have all these fights take place, and we're going to see where Canelo may be. I think we need to get a little more star power. Honestly, Ryan Garcia is pulling a line in terms of numbers, and I just think we need to see the best fight the best, and then we can go from there. We kind of saw it in the heavyweight division, but like I said, I think there's an argument to be made. Whether you're an Usyk fan or maybe you're an Usyk detractor, you could say, no, I actually don't think that because he's not drawing enough. So I think the skill and the performances in the ring are one thing, but I think sometimes the box office is another. So you could combine the two.
Yeah, I think he definitely has a claim as being one of the best post Floyd Mayweather, but regardless, he made history last night. Couldn't be happier
Did you watch any other fights for that card?
It was on. I saw the co-main was kind of entertaining as well, but
it was a good fight.
Other than that, no, I really didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean there was, besides the co-main event, I had a higher expectation for Joey Alpataya, but that KO TKO did not hit. But Maris Breida seems to have his number every time they fought. They've, had a war. There was an underdog win. Joe Cordino lost. Frank Sanchez lost. A lot of upsets and then a lot of dudes on the rise, like Moses Itama, Mark Chamberlain. It was cool seeing those knockouts. So it was an eventful Ring of Fire, I had to say. I just had to mention those real quick because I kind of watched the whole card. Didn't watch as much as the UFC prelims, even though I was kind of had it on the side. I was kind of locked into Fury Usyk and Ring of Fire.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good card. The stars were out. You saw Cristiano Ronaldo. You saw him next to Your Excellency. So it was a great night of Ring of Fire, and all captivated, ending with an amazing history win by Alexander Usyk. So congratulations to him. And Joe, we had another Ukrainian champion crowned this weekend. Denis Burchak, he beats Aman Navarrete by split decision to win the WBO lightweight world title. Another huge victory for Ukraine, a new champion. The 4 different champions in the 135 lightweight division. WBA Gervonta Davis, who I don't like his comments about Usyk. He goes, so one fight could win you a fight. You got to watch it. He won more than one round. But anyway, WBC, shout out Brick City, Shakur Stevenson, Newark, IBF, Vicente Lomachenko. Yes. And now new WBO, Denis Burchak. I mean,
that's 3 Ukrainians right there. Vasily Lomachenko, Denis Burchak, and Alexander Usyk.
I mean, they're taking over, kid. Who is the best undisputed at lightweight? Give me Shakur Stevenson. No one wants to fight him. No one wants to fight him.
I mean, honestly, he would have his hands full with Gervonta Davis, but Tank's got to fight with Frank Martin. I'm pretty sure that's still locked in, right?
Yeah, Frank Martin. Who do you like in that fight?
I think Gervonta Davis. I think he's got a lot at stake, so he might be fighting not to lose, but that could work on his advantage if he's very defensively sound and exploits some of Frank Martin's holes. So Shakur Stevenson has a matchup. Well, we're getting all the fights we want to see, and soon enough we'll see the fights we need.
Yeah, 100%. But just wanted to give the Ukrainians their flowers, and they deserve it. I mean, they're just breeding champions right now. So happy to see that. Joe, but we did have a UFC card back at the Apex. It was headlined by Edson Barboza taking on Lerone Murphy. They got fight of the night, and Lerone Murphy wins a unanimous decision, 49-46 and 50-45 times 2. I mean, I don't even, as biased as I am, I don't even think he won a round. So the 50-45, I thought was very accurate. The stand-up boxing, he just pieced them up the whole fight. And this is no slouch. Like, this is Edson Barboza. And, it's not this, and a lot of people are saying he's fallen off the cliff. No, I think Lerone Murphy is actually just that good. Credit you. I mean, you said it yourself. Like, he hasn't had a lot of fights, but the fights he's fought, I mean, he is crisp. His boxing, he didn't let Barboza hit him with those leg kicks. He always was applying the pressure, kind of like Usyk we were just talking about. I thought he fought a phenomenal fight.
I'll tell you this. Yeah, he's a real complete fighter, and throwing in the
Yeah.
takedowns, mixing those in. And, he was quick, aggressive, powerful, just all the words you can use to describe this kid. And I knew about the car incident, but hearing the backstory about the Miracle Murphy and where he got it from was when he survived the stabbing. I didn't hear
Yeah.
about that. And kudos to him for, a lot of the doctors see these injuries that these fighters have, and that's why they're inspirational, because they defy all the odds and they make it to where they envision themselves to be. And man, he proved it against a tough competitor. Edson Barbosa is an absolute legend. I'd argue Hall of Famer himself, if not guaranteed going to have Hall of Fame moments like the spinning wheel kick against Terry Edom. That was, stuff of legends to be played on highlights forever. So Edson Barbosa deserves his flowers, and Lerone Murphy is just class in terms of his person and his ability.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. He is he ranked? No,
He should be now.
Well, he's definitely going to take Edson Barbosa's number. Edson is sitting at number 12. So you figure maybe a top 10 matchup, maybe a Bryce Mitchell, maybe a Calvin Kattar or Josh Emmett. Put him on the Manchester card. Do you throw him back real quick?
I think it'd be up to him. Maybe if he's willing to cut the weight in that short of time. It's not too close, but it's also not that far away.
And he's a hometown kid. Like, it'd be good
I
for
was
the
going to say
card.
he's from Manchester, right? So,
Yeah.
And I think he's still training out of there. So, the dude's a sav, and I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to get on the Manchester card if the UFC would allow him, or if he steps in as a last minute replacement for any of the lightweight fighters. I would be willing to say he'd fight someone out of the rankings if he can get on that card. I think he's that game.
My question to you now is Lerone Murphy just tied a 6-fight win streak in the featherweight division with which fighter?
6 fight in the same weight class?
Yes, for the featherweight.
Oh, don't tell me it's the one that we talked about and I got wrong last time. Movsar Evloev?
No, he has the most. He's on a 7-fight win streak.
It's tied. Oh,
tied
man,
for the second longest active featherweight win streak.
I'm going to guess that is it not entirely in the UFC? Maybe Diego Lopes? No, because he lost against Movsar. You got me, because that's who I was going to go with.
It is your champion, Ilia Topuria, with 6. And then after that is the guy we just saw, Joannison Burrito at 5.
How about that?
Yeah, he's coming up as well. But yeah, I mean, great. You definitely he's ready for a top 10 fight now, right? At least
I think he could fight top 10. Don't be surprised if he fights someone within the top 15. I know Sadiq Youssef's kind of on the burnt end, so maybe they give him a favorable matchup. But I don't know. What do you think? Like a Calvin Kattar?
I personally, I think whoever doesn't have a fight, and it's between Josh Emmett, Aljamain Sterling.
You don't fight.
Bryce.
I don't think Aljamain.
No, it's not Aljo. Yeah, I think they put Manchester against Josh Emmett. I think that's a fight.
That's a fight. I would be scared. If anyone in featherweight, I know there's fighters and they're not scared, but I'm just saying, I like Josh Emmett is he's a dangerous opponent.
He is, but I think on the feet they both could crack. Yeah, and they're going to even each other out.
Lerone might have the speed advantage and maybe a little 100%. Bit of technique and range and reach, but yeah, Josh Emmett has that power, that game-changing power.
You saw the speed on display in the very first round. Outside of that,
and everything, it was speed in his entire game.
Outside of that up kick where he did connect on like the last 10 seconds, outside of that, Edson really couldn't get anything going. So, but he's still a legend in 30 UFC fights. He started in 2010. Just think about that. Lerone Murphy was in 4th grade at that time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, these people are legends. So don't ever, just because they lost, man, these guys are still risking their lives. But
yeah, you got to look at them in their prime.
Yeah, 100%. Welcome back, Chaos Williams in the chief support. He has fucking power, kid. He gets the knockout of Carlson Harris, 1 minute and 30 seconds round. I mean, I was watching it, looked up, and got a text from you like, holy shit, power. What a shot.
Yeah, bro. He's vicious, man. And we saw him 288. He had a hard-fought contest against Rolando Bedoya, and many argued that he might have lost that fight. I included, but that was because I saw it in person, and you see a different fight than what you see on the screen. So I I like everything about Chaos Williams. I think he's aggressive when he drops his hip and sprawls. He doesn't allow the takedowns, but I think he's willing enough to go in there and incorporate some wrestling. He's aggressive, man, and you don't want to face that power yet again. Chaos Williams, dude, starched Carlston Harris. It was crazy. Like you said, I kind of I feel like I just missed it. Even though I saw it, it was like, I swear, it was just like I took my attention away for 1 second and he just threw that massive right and just caught. And then, stand up Detroit, Michigan. I'm pretty sure
Jamal
Sweet
Hill
Dreams
was in
Hill
there,
was in there shouting him out and cheering him on. And it's just it's a good feeling for everyone in his team and himself. And man, the future's bright for this kid, the Ox Fighter, Chaos Williams, Kalen Williams. I mean, bro, he's got some sick names. So let's see what's next for him. And I don't know what's next for Carlston Harris. He's going to have to fight way back, I think, because he's very inconsistent in his career. And, it's really all about Chaos Williams in this spot. That co-main event spot made him shine.
Yeah, welcome back. I mean, what a knockout. I don't know if he's ready just yet. I think maybe one more fight and then a rank, but I do think he's a dark horse in this welterweight division. I think that, and like you said, I was kind of worried about the taking some time off, but sometimes fighters need that, and I think it helped him to. Obviously, it helped him.
There is no such thing as rust.
Yeah, Dominic Cruz. Yeah, we know you're here. Welterweight, what a fight, Tarimbo Garimbo. I mean,
dominant.
Yeah, dominant. I know a lot of people were very upset. He even apologized after, but he gets it unanimous 30-27 times 3. Had a lot on his mind, obviously, with one of his coach's mother passing.
Yeah. How can you blame the man, though? He wasn't really the one to initiate the
It takes 2 to tango, Joe.
It does. It takes 2 to tango. And Ramirez was looking for trips, trying to force trips. And Demba's game is grappling. He's really good at it. I don't think he's scared to, exchange in the pocket or anything like that. He's got long limbs. But yeah, if you let him enter his world, he's going to take it every time. Twice on Sunday. How what?
Sorry, I was on mute for a sec. People are mad at Garimbo, but Barama, like, he was losing double underhooks. Like, he wasn't trying to get out anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you said, it takes 2 to tango. And Demba came out and apologized for a lackluster performance. I think he wanted to finish there. He wanted to do it for his coach, and he may have had a little bit of a mince up in his words in his post-fight interview, but he meant that his coach means the world to him, and he wants to kind of forgive himself. I think obviously his coach and his team don't blame him for anything. They want to see this man succeed, going from no roof over his head, not a $7 in his pocket, to having The Rock give him a house and him performing the biggest stages, and he does so every time. We've seen Demba come out. He's doing such a good job, and you got to appreciate the man who speaks not only from his mind but from his heart. And it was from the pre-fight presser and also the post-fight in Octagon interview.
Yeah, very powerful speech, and I do wish him some peace at this time. He said, and then afterward, he did say he wants a quick turnaround, maybe July or August. So he is looking to get back in there to, correct him. But I don't think he needs to apologize. A win is a win, and under the circumstances, a lot definitely was on his mind.
Maybe the fear for Themba. I'll be honest, I think it could time up for that 306.
Adrian Yanez, big bounce back win. You called it, Joe. Gets the knockout in the first round, 2 minutes and 47 seconds of Salvador. Your boy got the win.
Yeah, and it was a little scary at the end. Vinicius Salvador wasn't getting up immediately, but though he was the bigger guy, taller, longer guy, he fought at 125, Salvador, and Yanez has made a home at 135. He's fought some tough competition. He's wound up on the short end of a couple of them, but I think his boxing is very crisp. That's why, in the beginning of his win streak, before he had his losses, Sean O'Malley was like, I'll box him, because I think he thinks of his boxing as being high level. So, yeah, you don't want to really exchange in a pocket with Yanez. I think the favorited odds were right. I did say that last episode, and you were debating whether or not because of his, past performances. And that's, can't blame you for that. That's, being a fair assessment to him. And you're only as good as what you last did, your last fight. So, that was fair, but yeah, he proved that he meant to be that heavy of a favorite, $3, $4 favorite. He looks good. That first round finish, I got that right. Those past 4 fights we talked about, I hit them all on the head exact. I got even though I put them on the money line, it was laying a lot of chalk. On the verdict predictions, I got the decision for Lerone Murphy, the first round knockout for Chaos Williams, the decision for Themba, and the first round knockout for Yanez.
Performance of the night, Angela motherfucking Hill. What a
Overkill.
submission win.
She's back.
4 minutes and 12 seconds in, and what a performance. I think, like I said on Friday, she just is getting better and better every fight. Even at this age, she's still out here fucking thugging it out. Shout out Angela motherfucking Hill.
Yo, great call on that. I should have never doubted her for a second. You saw my Gilbert Burns, Angela Hill face swap?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, because they both had the fro going, and I was like, oh, you could just, like, interchange them, both these great fighters. So I thought it was funny, but yeah, she's a salve, man. To get the submission win, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. I don't think she had a submission win in her career prior to that. I know she lost by submission once or twice, but man, she's got her first career submission win. I really think that's the case. Do you want to fact check me on that?
Yeah, let me
right now, because
yeah,
honestly,
you check it out.
If you go ahead and look at, I had the dog, I had Pinheiro right there, but I thought that was going to be her, a way to victory was to go ahead and get the submission. But Angela Hill, if you played it on verdict for her to get a submission, I bet you get massive XP. It was probably a tremendous, money maker if you had her via submission, and that was her first career submission.
Wow, amazing. Shout out Angela Hill, first submission win of a great career. Great job by you this week. 3-2 on the weekend for me. So overall, we have a really good weekend. Real quick, I just wanted to touch on the Patchy Mix fight, Magomedov. Yeah. Patchy Mix gets the split decision win, 49-46 and 48-47 times 2.
Get that to a T. We said that it's hard to beat the same opponent twice. And the fact that he came out of decision, that plus money bet would have hit for y'all. So lock in with the Sharps.
Yeah. I thought it was a good fight. I did think he won. I thought he did enough.
A little controversial, but it's just that you're not getting, it's like you said, literally a couple, segments ago. It's literally, it takes two to tango. And if Magomedov was just not trying to engage as much, then you got to go with the guy who was a little more aggressive. And I saw that at Patchy Mix.
Yeah, 100%. He was the more aggressive fighter. I thought he was landing a little more. Yeah, the power kind of was there. And I thought the game plan, you had to switch it on the fly for Patchy Mix. He thought he was going to wrestle a lot. He wound up standing and banging with him for 5 rounds. Yep. So good game plan by Magomedov. But yeah, Patchy Mix is still champion. Oh, shout out him and Tatiana Suarez getting engaged in the City of Love. So shout out them.
Yep, nice.
Also, Cedric Doumbé, he gets the first round KO. I love the face-off between Anthony Pettis and him. That's the fight to make next, right?
That's a good one. Anthony Pettis has his own promotion, and we saw him in the bare knuckle, right? We saw him. Did we see him in like Gamebred MMA bare knuckle, or just
Gamebred?
It was, right?
Yep.
I'm wondering if he competed in BKFC too. Did he not fight at BKFC, bare knuckle boxing? I don't know, but I think that would be a fun, exciting matchup for Doumbé, and it puts more notoriety to his name that he doesn't have already. And that's a fight that you can move outside of Paris, France. You don't have to just put Doumbé there in his hometown or his home country. You can now move it into United States, start expanding his name there or elsewhere around the world. Honestly.
Yeah, 100%. So overall, a really good weekend of fights. We are coming off on a break, though, this weekend. And then the first weekend of June, we are right back at it in Brick City, Newark, New Jersey.
Overall, I did a really good. I had overall for the whole entire weekend, let's go 11-3.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. No. But yeah, we got a big even though there's no UFC, we still got WWE next week, so we'll talk about that next week. Before we get into some news, though, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry drink with the boys. it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at Axe Cake Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, Joe, just a few bits and bots before we get on out of here. Some fights to announce, some unfortunate news as well. So we got an injury, and I think we'll lead there. Khalil Roundtree is out against Sweet Dream Jamal Hill at UFC 303 June 29th. Supposed to be the co-main event. Roundtree was flagged by the DFSI for consuming the banned substance DHEA, which he claimed he consumed unintentionally. So he's out of the fight for right now. He apologized on his Instagram. Jamal Hill said, like shit happens. So he's still looking to stay on the card. Who do you want him to see Jamal Hill fight? Because I heard the name swirl around, and I want to see if you name him, because I'm going to keep quiet. But who do you want to see Jamal Hill first?
Let's keep Yuri at light heavyweight and have him fight him. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot you can do at light heavyweight, but it's just a matter of him staying up there, because I don't think that he deserves to fight all two down. Did Jamal Hill fight Anthony Smith before?
No. This is a guy in the top 15.
Yeah, Anthony Smith's the top 10.
No, not Anthony Smith. That'd be a very quick turnaround.
That's what I said. So I said.
I thought you said Anthony Pettis, if I'm being honest.
No, I was saying Anthony Smith. But if Jamal Hill, I said Yuri, I said Anthony Smith one time. Jan Blachowicz, he doesn't have a fight, but
no, newly ranked 11th ranked lightweight Carlos Ulberg.
Wow, that's a big jump.
I love that.
That's a big jump. That's putting the rocket to Ulberg and trying to send him off. So
is he not ready?
Maybe. If he accepts the fight, the UFC gives it to him. I don't see Ulberg denying it. I think he'll take it. It's just maybe Jamal Hill, would he? No, he'd be game enough to take that.
No, Jamal Hill would be. Yeah.
They're both gonna accept that fight.
My thing is, he was on the MMA Hour after the win over in Louisville. He came in, not Louisville, St. Louis. Excuse me.
They're going to Louisville.
They're going to Louisville. My mind's.
They shouldn't.
Yeah. And Carlos Ulberg said something very interesting to Ariel Helwani, and he said, you know what, they go, oh, you're going to take vacation now, enjoy your summer. And he goes, no, like, I'm going back to Sydney or New Zealand. I'm going to train, like, maybe back up someone. And it was like, wait, back up who? Like, who's fighting? He goes, oh, just stay ready and be ready just in case they give my call. And now this happens. Wow. I thought it was very interesting. Maybe the stars are aligning. Carlos Ulberg. And then if he beats Jamal Hill, give him a title shot, baby.
Have him jump everybody.
Yeah, I love that. But also, we got Henry Cejudo calling out big man Rob Font to a fight.
Fight me at the Apex?
Yeah, UFC Vegas 94 on July 20th. I actually love the call for Triple C, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. It's just it's pretty crazy, He was fighting on the main event of.
But this is what he needs. He needs to just block out the noise and get a win.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely does, and might be the right, opponent, right place, right time for him to do so. But I just thought that was funny. I think he even acknowledged it as well. So it's all good. That's when you're in good spirits and you understand your place, and you can only grow from there. So shout out Henry Cejudo.
Do you think he could win that fight?
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to start wrestling. I think if he ever started to incorporate the submissions, like Angel Hill now is at prime 39 years old of age, ripe of age, but that would add another aspect, because then you could take him down and you can say, but maybe, just the limitations with his physique, like his literal anatomic structure just won't allow him to, sink in chokes or get arm bars and stuff like that. But if he did, I think that would just open up another aspect for him and help him out.
Yeah, I actually love it. I think this is what he needs. Get out of his stadium for right now. Get back in the win column. Yeah, you're fighting down just a few, but you get back in the win column and, build yourself some confidence to a big fight. So I actually love it. Alex Pereira, he once again calls out Anthony Smith for a 50K challenge in the gym and says, he'll donate the money to buy food for the people in need. Brazil is struggling right now. See, Michel Pereira going around saving all the animals. This guy's a fucking hero out there. So what's up with these two? They got like a fake beef, Pereira and Anthony Smith. You think they'll ever fight?
Not unless Anthony Smith gets a couple wins. You know what I mean? Like that's why I was saying, like if Anthony Smith can get a fight against Jamal Hill, and win that fight, I do think he would still need another fight, even though you have to put him back in the top 5 after that.
I think it's very interesting how the champ keeps calling him out. It has an appetite, and I'll
It's a
say
very easy fight.
and I'll say this: he has. Yeah, I agree. I think he also has some pull though. Like the champion, he could dictate, just like how Sean O'Malley wanted Cheeto Vera. Now, did Cheeto Vera definitely deserve it? I would say.
Names in the light heavyweight division. I mean, honestly, who besides Yuri, to my, we have a play out for Magomed as a future, and that's not looking likely at all. Regardless of the fact, look at the names on that list. Who's got the biggest name? It's probably Anthony Smith. So
100%.
There's a little bit of star power that's being involved. So Alex Pereira is smart in that regards. I think it's a favorable matchup for him. And they do. It's not fake beef. They do got beef. I don't think they like each other. Just literally, just like kind of like at first Anthony Smith as a analyst saying that Alex Pereira doesn't belong and doesn't have any grappling and doesn't have a chance of winning the title. He's proved all the doubters wrong. Anthony Smith's one of them. And so the fact that it is, he's very petty. Alex Pereira is one of the pettiest fighters, and he's done it to Adesanya, and he'll do it to anyone who doubts him.
I'll say this. I think the other two, because I think besides Yuri and Magomed, the other wild card that had a claim to a shot would be Khalil Roundtree. I think he was the dark horse no one really wanted. Now he's
but like indefinite future. I'd say maybe even up to like
a few months. I'd say he's definitely.
I'd say a year.
Regardless, I think this bodes well for Anthony Smith, though. Now this
bodes well for him.
And to be honest, I'll go as far and go on a limb and back Anthony Smith, and I'll say, on the grappling match, he has the advantage. I don't think Alex Pereira wants to go and grapple with him. I think that's why he's trying to get him to fight.
You don't have
but they actually challenged to each other to a grappling match.
If there was striking involved, I think Alex Pereira is competent enough.
Of course. But grappling now.
And if it's strictly grappling, I think there will be a time where he'll make a mistake and get caught. But
of course,
that's
what's so confusing, though.
Get up and just land his nuclear bomb of a left hand.
That's why Alex Pereira is trying to change the subject, because it started out being a grappling match for charity, and now he's like, no, actually, I want to fight. And it's like, yeah, obviously you want to fight.
Yeah, you don't necessarily. I think it's more favorable. He doesn't necessarily want to see Yuri again. I don't think a lot of people do. And that I still argue that Magomed is a bad matchup for him, because I think he has the range to match him on the feet. Maybe not the power, but the range I think means a lot. If Magomed's smart and he can use good footwork, I think he could stand outside in sorts. And then he does have a little bit of wrestling, but that's what I mean. I'm Alex Pereira with Glover in his corner. He's very good in terms of his get-ups and denying transitions and just BJJ overall. I think he has maybe a little trick up his sleeve in terms of snagging a submission somehow against somebody.
Definitely be interesting to see who they put up next for Alex Pereira. But last but certainly not least, we got a fight at UFC International Fight Week 303, June 29th. Charles Jourdain will take on Juan Silva. Do you like this for the Canadian?
John Silva, the fight that missed out with William Gomez, the fighter? Yeah. I mean, he's a character. He puts on the Sandlot glasses and starts barking at the camera and stuff like that. But Charles Jourdain's talented. He definitely is. I think he should be favored in that just based off merit. And I think he has we've seen more of an overall game from him than John Silva seems to be, like a berserker in there. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu probably has the, submissions in his back pocket, but I'd be going into that match leaning Charles Jourdain. I would.
100%. No odds up yet, so we can't guess the line. But yeah, that's all I got, Joe. Any last words before we get up out of here? We got a good episode coming next week.
Yes, sir. I gave you my record for the weekend, but I didn't mention how 10 Seconds Left has been doing, though I don't have anything for today.
Yeah.
BKFC Omaha hit. Uzumaki won his main event, and now that marks 5 picks in a row for 10 Seconds Left.
Let's fucking go. I love it, kid. Big WWE match next week. WWE King and Queen of the Ring. We'll break it all down next week. But that is going to do it for this Monday edition of Axe Kick Picks. On behalf of Joey, myself, Viva Tequila. Make sure you guys go follow our social media, X and Instagram at Axe Kick Picks. You guys can find all of our episodes if you missed out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review. Let us know how you did this weekend. all that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we will see you guys on Friday. Peace.